me, little bro, and now you looking at me hostile. What's wrong with you, fam? I told mom don't worry, cause your baby on top now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It might be my first day, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your girl, Miss All Purpose, live on All Purpose Radio here at My Radio Chicago. Happy Saturday. Listen, are we over snow or what? Come on now, Chicago. We got to get this together. I forgot to mention that the Bears did not pull it together a couple of weeks ago. I forgot to say that last Saturday, but we are not giving up hope. We've got a great 2026-2027 season coming up. They are playing in Atlanta, Miami, so those are going to be some of the away games. I'm definitely going to Miami. Well, I said I wasn't going, and my cousin's like, you'd be crazy if you done. I was like, okay, I guess I will. But happy Saturday. I have a wonderful, awesome, special guest today. Listen, I know a lot of great women, and this, by far, this young lady is, she knows I love her, right? So, you know I love you. Listen, but we have Miss Eve L. Benton on the show today. I got to get my sound effects. Now, Eve, you're not going to hear this applause, but just know you're getting a round of the crowd. Yes. What? There we go. Who turned that down? They must don't use sound effects on their show. Thank you for joining me here today, Eve. How are you?
I am blessed. Thank you for asking. I'm honored to be here.
Well, I'm going to use the intro on our little sheet here, and then you can add what you want to add. Okay, who is Eve Benton? All right. Designated managing broker and owner of Exit Infinity Realty, owner of Infinity Realty Solutions Property Management Company, the mother of an amazing young educator, and most importantly, she took my title, God's favorite child. Let's give it up for Eve Benton.
We both are.
Yeah, okay, we can share that, right? Move that microphone up to you just a little more. Okay. Yep, there we go. So, Eve, all right. Tell us, and I know I got to go to the comments because trust me, Eve is one of those people. I have quite a few people on my show who everybody knows, and I feel like you are one of those people. So, Eve, how did you get started in? Well, first of all, before we go to real estate, who are you? What do you do? And tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's start there.
So you just summarized it. I am a native Chicagoan. I have a background in finance and corporate and commercial banking. Wanted to get into real estate, but I was a mom of a very active teenager at the time.
Okay.
So I remembered looking it up and like, how do I get started? And if I couldn't figure out how to take the classes and carve out time, because my daughter was playing travel softball and swim team, and then you just got to be a mom and spend time and cook dinner and do laundry. I'm just like, if I can't figure out when to take the classes, this is not the time.
Okay.
So if you remember, the market tanked when the real estate market tanked, banking was hit pretty hard too.
In 08?
08.
Okay.
And I got laid off.
Ooh, because I was wondering, you said your daughter was doing all these activities and that costs money. I know all those activities cost money.
I've worked at the bank so long, I got a nice severance pack.
Okay.
And at the time, I was so cocky. I'm just like, if I can get in for the interview, I got the job.
Okay.
But then the market was flooded with commercial bankers. It was just a rough time.
Okay.
But God has his way.
Yes.
Know? So I had to recreate myself, and my daughter went away to school.
Okay.
So that kind of opened up the door. I had the time to circle back and recreate myself in the real estate industry.
Okay. So
I've been doing this full time.
Did you always want to be in real estate? Like, how did you go like real estate instead of another industry?
I've always had an interest in it, but did I always want to do it? No.
Okay.
I have a degree in finance, so I wanted to be a stockbroker.
Okay.
And I worked at Dean Witter, American Express Financial Advisors. Both of these entities no longer exist.
Okay.
But I always had an interest in real estate. Like even in my finance track in college, I took real estate finance and
Okay.
So I always had an interest in it.
So when you decided to get into real estate, did you know already you want to work with buyers or brokers or investors, or what was your thought, or did you have a thought?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. Because, necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Okay.
So it was necessary. I had to put food on the table because at some point that severance runs out, right?
Yes.
So-
Yes.
I had to put food on the table. So I was just hungry to learn,
Okay.
And we both are familiar with Marky.
Yes.
So she has recreated herself.
Shout out to Marky.
Brilliant woman.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
And at the time when I came into the industry, I was fortunate enough for her to mentor me through my first few deals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the blessing I already know.
It is. And I came into the market. I actually went to the Illinois Realtors Convention, drove down to Bloomington this week.
Okay.
And met with somebody. They're like, Eve, we've been in the game for a while. I'm like, yeah, we came in when it was like not as pretty.
Yes.
It was a foreclosure crisis.
Yes, it was.
So legitimately, at the time, and this is no exaggeration, 75% of my business was short sales and foreclosures.
Okay.
So when the market began to turn, my joke is, wait a minute, you gonna mow the lawn and paint?
Okay.
I'm walking in places, there were squatters and
Those we come a long way with those squatters.
Yeah. So it was a different market, but I would have to say it was beneficial because you develop grit.
Okay.
You develop grit. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. But, I tell people because I became licensed in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So my cousin, the same one telling me I need to be in Miami for the Bears game. He was a real estate broker at the time. Okay. And I used to just ask him questions and he was like, Misty, you should get a real estate license. That's when we were salespeople, right? He's like, Misty, you should get a real estate license. And I just thought real estate salespeople, brokers
open doors.
Had this IQ higher than the rest of the world. That was what I thought. So I was like, no, I don't think I was smart enough for that. He was like, Misty, I'm telling you, get your license. So I went ahead and I think I went to Century 21 the first time and I took the class.
Don't tell me it was Dabs that was on 107th Western where everybody went.
No. I was living out in Joliet at the time. Mm-hmm. So it was a place out there. So I went to Century 21 night class, I think it was. Now, I think at that time you got 3 times to take the test. Now you get 4 times, I believe. So I took it the first 2 times and I failed. I think I passed the state.
You know I'm an instructor, right?
Yes, I know you're an instructor.
To quit saying fail.
Okay, I did not pass. Okay. Thank you. Okay, hey, and for the record, I do have my real estate instructor CE license. I just keep renewing it. I haven't taught a course, but nevertheless, so I did not pass twice. And so I said, I just went and took the class again. I took another 6-week class and then I passed the 3rd time that I took it. And so what was the point of me saying that? Oh, but that was how I got in real estate.
You thought that it was all these brilliant people?
I thought you just had to be so super smart. But I'm glad you brought up Marky because when I was thinking, as I knew you were going to be my guest, Marky recruited me to Exit. Mm-hmm. So I used to take her classes back in the day and she was recruiting people for Exit. And, but I was saying that's how I met Eve because I went to Exit. So that was the point of that.
And I was the managing broker there.
Yes. Yeah. And listen, Eve is an amazing, let me tell you, can I talk about Eve for a little bit? Eve is the most professional, one of the most professional, organized. What I love about you, Eve, is that no question is dumb. And you used to do Ask Anything on Ask Us Anything. I used to love those. I love that you talk to people like they're human.
Thank you.
I love that you talk to people like anything is possible.
Just like I said, we don't fail.
Yeah, we don't fail.
There's a difference.
Yeah, no, there's a difference. And so, but I love that because sometimes in questions, there's a vulnerability, right? And, they tell us there's no dumb questions, but you're not always confident to ask a question that you feel like you should know the answer to. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I hear you. But
so with you, though, there's such a comfortability that I feel like I can ask you anything and not feel, some kind of way. Because, I do real estate. I sell Mary Kay. So I do a little bit of this.
Yeah.
I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And so it's so funny. Monday, I celebrated 7 years at Mary Kay. And so I put it on Facebook, like my sales manager, she's like, oh, she texted me like, oh, happy anniversary. And I was like, oh, how many years is it? She's like 7 years. So I put it on Facebook. Then I get these inboxes. People are like, oh, I didn't know you sold Mary Kay. Well, you don't know I sell Mary Kay, mainly because there are rules and regulations to social media posting. Cause you know, the whole thing with Mary Kay is they don't want you to steal somebody's customers. You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm like the post queen. I just post whatever. I just didn't
your energy.
I just didn't like to keep up with the rules and regulations but now people are like, oh, I wish you knew, I knew you sold Mary Kay. But my point in just saying that is there's a lot to know. So I could post,
a lot to,
in most industries. So I could post a Mary Kay post. I could go live and all this, but there's these rules. Right? Because again, they don't want you stealing. Like if you decide you don't want to be with your rep anymore, you want to call me. Okay, that's fine. But anyway,
I'm not out there publicly soliciting. You're developing your market like a lot of us do in real estate.
Yes.
To the people you know.
Yeah, the people I know. So, I got a few new customers this week because people are like, oh, Misty, I didn't know you. So real estate. But the reason I just wanted to thank you because you're just somebody you present in such a way that you want us to grow and learn.
I do.
And you make it a safe place, a safe space to ask questions.
Praise God. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I had to
my approach to that
okay.
is very much like it is my family. And then, you know how us Torians are?
Yes, I'm listening.
We're possessive.
Ooh, Jesus.
Which means we say my, like we own things, we own people.
Yes.
So it's almost like my family, me and my daughter.
Okay.
My daughter can be wrong as two left shoes, but I'm going to check her heart and you'll never know. And that's how I treated my agents.
Okay.
They're mine.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're mine.
Yes.
So
yes.
like the way I tell my daughter, if I'm wrong, you better tell me because I don't want the person behind me to tell me.
Right.
So we keep it in the family. So that's how I treated the agents.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my approach. I want us to brainstorm so then when we get and we confront outsiders, be it the consumer until they become a client. When they're a client, they're part of the circle too.
Yes. Yes.
But other agents, we're going to correct this in-house.
Yes. Yes.
So that's why, be vulnerable. We're going to hammer this out, correct it, and then we will look good jointly. Everybody outside of the circle.
Yes.
So it's our own little inner circle.
Yeah. And you definitely make us feel like that. So let me ask you this. How long have you been with Exit the company?
Ooh, good question.
Was Exit your first place that you worked? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
But it's where I've been the longest by far.
Okay.
So I've had my own Exit franchise it's coming up on a year. So it's been 11 months.
Okay.
The office that you're with, I was there probably a good 10 or 11 years.
Okay.
I left for 11 months and came right back.
Okay.
So obviously I like the brand. Right?
Okay. Yes.
So as you know, it's a corporation, North America, Canada, and US. They're based out of Canada.
Okay.
And each office is independently owned.
Yes.
So I like the brand enough where I got my own franchise. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you and shout out to Nick Liebert. So how did you and Nick hook up?
He is a charmer.
He is
a charmer. He had another agent introduced me.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I was at a Keller Williams office that is now closed.
Okay.
I had an opportunity to get my own Fannie Mae contract.
Okay.
That's how it happened. Now, you got me going back in my mental archive.
Okay.
And so the woman actually said to me, Eve, I was telling my director that you're a pit bull. She meant it nicely, but we dig in. We're just saying. So she says, but I can't do it while you're at that office. I can say that part now.
Okay.
They're closed.
Okay.
So then I was actively looking for another office because I'm just like, this could be a game changer for my business to get a Fannie Mae contract. So I was looking for another office. When I met Nick, I told him about it. He was like, we will figure out how to make it happen.
Okay.
And you know how charming he is. So when I came through the door, he gets up from behind his desk where we are in the North Avenue office, and he hugs me.
Okay.
Like it was color purple.
Okay. That's Nick. Okay.
So we sat down and the person who introduced me to Nick or encouraged me to interview over at your office.
Okay.
she must have told, they knew enough about me to know that I was a numbers person.
Okay.
So Nick turned.
Make sure you turn in the microphone too. You can use your prop. You can use your prop.
So he knew where I was interviewing because I was interviewing at like 4 different brokerages. I wanted to land in the right place. He printed off the sales from one of the offices where I was interviewing. I'm sitting on the other side. He says, "I want to show you what the sales."
Yes. Here's why you should choose us.
His office sales. Yeah. So when I looked at the other office sales and everybody had on Louboutins and they literally there were neon lights up. It was beautiful.
Okay.
So I was just like, it's a little like pomp and circumstance, but no meat behind it because nobody is producing.
Okay.
I did not want to go someplace where I was going to be a big fish in a little pond.
Okay.
So when I looked at his office, I saw, and I'm not trying to promote him, I'm promoting mine. Everybody has their strong
No,
points, right?
it's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
I went there because there were people all over the board. There were people who were producing more, people who weren't producing as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not want to, I think this is an entrepreneurial thing.
Okay.
I'm not looking for you to give me leads. And I don't think any broker should, because when I'm giving you leads, the biggest cost is being the rainmaker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the scriptures. When I teach you to fish, you can fish for a lifetime. You can eat for a lifetime.
Yes.
If I give you the fish, you eat for today.
Right. Yes.
So I felt like
preach now
to learn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that I've taken into where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I'm very hands-on.
Yes.
I think that there is a difference between being a manager and a leader.
Okay.
Yeah. A manager, you're just like boom, boom, boom. I've told you. A leader is in there with their people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you may not know this because you've never had, and this is just an example.
Okay.
Especially early on in my career as a managing broker.
Okay.
I've actually been on appointments with my brokers to support them.
Oh,
like you're
a real managing broker.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. So how did you become managing broker at Exit?
Good question.
One thing about Misty, I'm full of good questions. Go ahead.
So I came in, the industry was different when I first got my license, so I'm going to start there.
Okay.
Back then, the entire class, I forget how much, let's say it was 40, 45 hours because you can complete the class in 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
There was a 2-week course that allowed you to come in with the license that is now a managing broker's license.
Okay.
They call it a broker's license because we have sales agents and brokers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I came into the industry as a broker.
Oh,
with no intent on managing people. I just knew that they were changing the laws and I wanted to open up the option, like just in case I ever wanted to.
Right.
But for years, I was strictly sales, didn't really have an interest in managing people. I became an instructor.
Okay.
With the Realtors Real Estate School, which is part of the Chicago Association of Realtors. And while instructing, I realized that I enjoyed nurturing people.
Oh, okay.
So then they had been through a couple of managing brokers at your office and they tapped me and asked me would I be interested.
Okay.
They felt like because my temperament, you just blessed me saying that stuff. I just started reflecting back on what you said, but I was relatable to everyone in the office. I just told you about the diverse group there in terms of production and I had the temperament and knowledge base to relate to everybody there.
Yeah, and you do.
So, I accepted the position.
That's a great Taurus quality too.
Yeah. We're not judgy.
We try not to be. No, as long as I ain't talking to Monique, that's all we do for like 30 minutes. Shout out to Monique.
If I drive behind you and you throw Popeyes out the car, I'm judging your mama for not training you. But other than that, I'm a judge.
Let me remind you listening to All Purpose Radio with your girl, Miss All Purpose, on My Purpose Radio. My Radio Chicago. My special guest is Miss Eve Benton. All right, so Eve, you're at Exit. Then you decide to break off and do your own thing within Exit. Tell us about that.
Okay.
Yes. No, yes, your company. I mean, yeah, it's your company, right?
Yes.
First of all, wait, hold on. Before we get to that, I was not very happy when I got that email. Well, I don't even know if it was
an email.
Well, let me say this again. First of all, so 90% of my time is like raising my family and my mother's caregiver. Like I got all this other stuff going on that's totally separate from Mary Kay, real estate, radio, everything, right? So all I know is I start getting these emails and I don't even, was it an official email? I don't know, but I know I saw an email that said it was a new managing broker and Eve was at Exit.
Infinity.
And And so my first thought, and I think I eventually sent you a message because I was like, well, what does that mean? I was like, well, that's what I said to myself. I was like, well, what does this mean? Because it was like a breakup. It felt like a breakup.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I hope Nick doesn't get me. I don't even know who my managing broker is. Is that horrible? It probably is. I don't know who the managing broker is.
That was very hands-on.
I should probably figure that part out.
I'll tell you. We'll talk about it. I know who it is.
But more of the story is, I was sad when you left.
I still have people messaging me saying they miss me.
Because I'm trying to figure out, do we go with him? Like, what? Well, it was a thought. But anywho, so when did you make the decision, or how did the opportunity come for you to open your own exit office?
So it crossed my mind a number of times. And like you said, there's such a community there. So I've had agents or brokers let me know that they say, hey, I still miss you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they still come to me with questions and I answer them, even though I'm not their managing broker anymore. But we're in this together. Trying to think of how to phrase this. As the managing brokers, the owner, the way the state is set up, okay, of course the owner has risk because you're the owner, but I'm not the owner. The managing broker is responsible for the supervision and training of all of the brokers, right?
Yes.
When you have 260, 270 agents, without some, in my opinion,
okay,
some stopgaps or guidelines in place, there's a lot of risk. And being a tourist, I don't like taking on a whole lot of risk.
Not a whole lot.
Manage the risk, right?
Yes.
And I felt like I could create my own vision. I had a little more latitude in terms of creating my own vision in my own space.
Okay, well, that's good. Yeah. Okay, well, I won't dive too deep because I thought you were the owner of
Exit Strategy.
No.
The owner of the new one.
So you are the owner of Exit Infinity.
Cooking bottle washers. The owner. Okay, so and the managing broker.
I thought you couldn't be both.
You can be both. Absolutely.
You used to couldn't be both, could you?
Yeah, always. Nick used to be the managing broker at Exit Strategy when I came over.
Okay. Well, I don't want to get into it.
Continue to grow.
Okay.
So yeah, then at some point when it grows, you need to start delegating.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Jobs.
Okay.
So that's how that came about.
Okay.
Yeah, you can definitely be the owner and the managing broker. And there's a lot of benefit to that.
Or is it that you can't be the sponsoring broker and the managing broker? Because I don't. Dang, jeez. Okay, well, good. Well, congratulations. First of all, because I'm like, I know I didn't. What? Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Of course, I wish you all the best success. You know, all the best success. All right, cool. So let's talk about home ownership.
Okay.
All right. So, my cousin, shout out to my cousin. You may know my cousin, Shannon Slaughter. He's now with Wintrust Mortgage. So he was when I became a real estate agent, he was an agent, but then he went to loans.
Okay.
So he's a loan officer now.
So he doesn't burn gas.
So, no, he don't burn gas. And let me tell you what's a funny story. When I was looking for my home back in 2003, 2004, I don't want to tell all my business, but let's just say I was at a point where I could afford a home in a higher range of numbers. And so
the home you talking about?
In Mokino, yeah, because you helped me. So anywho, when he was the agent when I bought the home, so I used him because I was like, he was in the business longer than me. Anyway, nevertheless, and I didn't get my license till 2004, but nevertheless, Andre Billa say that's Eve. I know Eve. I told you people will say, Andre Echoes is his name. He went to CVS with me. I don't know how you know Eve, but anyway, I don't know how y'all know each other, but Andre good peoples. Andre good peoples. Oh my goodness. But it was just funny when you said burning gas, because at the time when we were going to see these homes, my cousin had this van. One of the windows, I don't know, did he have like I think one of the small windows was busted out or something. So like his vehicle was kind of run down, right? But we pulling up to these like $1 million homes, you know what I mean? People judge you.
They do.
So we would kind of get a kick out of it because he said Bobo. Do you know him about Bobo? I don't know. Okay, anyway. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm about to go and look at
the funny part though is that we were in his van and going to see these homes, and it was a fun experience because that's like he's my right hand man. So it was a fun experience because we would pull up to these homes and they would they try to prejudge you, but we ain't gonna talk about real estate anyway. That was the fun part. That was the fun part. But anywho, so when you said burning gas, it just made me think when we were looking for that home how
not to mention you were out there where Jesus left his sandals.
We can't curse on here, but my cousin's like, you moved out to Bumble F, the F word. They used to be like, you moved out to Bumble F. But you know what? At the time, so that home was for my son who had cerebral palsy. And the thing about it was, you go see some of these $1 million homes and you walk in and they run down and they all this. And we was like, or super outdated. Like, I promise you, and Shannon will attest to this. Cassandra says, hey, good morning, Cassandra. We walked into this one house. I promise you, it looked like it was from like the Ike and Tina days. Like it was like just so outdated, but nevertheless. So, but that was a good time. So back to Mokina. I purchased in Mokina because, the guy I bought, because I didn't want to have to do a whole lot of modifications, but I would have. But the guy I bought the house from, he was a retired construction worker who had got hurt on the job. So he built the house, he and his wife.
So everything was probably tight.
So, they already had the 88 wide doors. Like everything was made because he thought he might have to be in a wheelchair.
Okay.
And it was, I think
36-inch wide.
36-inch wide. Yes, I did have to put a couple of lifts in, but my point is
that was a house for.
And then my sister, my uncle, and my dad lived in Matson, and I timed it. So I was off Lincoln Highway and Wolf Road, and they were off Lincoln Highway and Central. So it literally took me 12 minutes east to get to them. So yes, Mokina does seem fire, but in retrospect,
it was a house for you.
It was until I woke up and realized I was a city girl one day. And I was like, oh, this driving, like I do not miss driving on dark roads. I mean, like no street lights. You got deer out there, but Mokina's a great place. It's growing. I mean, they building everything out there now. So shout out to Mokina. I had some good years in Mokina. All right, go ahead.
When you mentioned something about these $800,000-$900,000 homes, people. So these are things I talk to when I'm working with buyers.
Okay,
let's even start at the $500,000 mark, right?
Okay.
And they're like, oh, and they love the vaulted ceilings. I'm like, bigger homes come with bigger bills.
Heat bills, light bills, all of that. Yes.
You got a 19-foot ceiling. Yes. That heat rises.
Yes.
So you get all this heat up at the top.
Yes.
Where nobody is living. So I'm not telling you don't get it, but I need you to consider all these things.
Well, I think that is so important because, and I'm not gonna
when your roof needs repair, there's a lot more square footage.
There's a lot more. There's a lot of everything at the end of the day. And I did put a pool in because my son that passed away, he loved being in the pool. But like
bigger maintenance, bigger insurance.
It's bigger maintenance, be insurance out there. You had to have a gate. It had to be in ground. The children I have now, so we sold the house and they're like, oh, we missed the Mokina house. We missed, it had a pool, blah, blah, blah. I said, but y'all never went to get in the pool.
I asked Chicago, everybody, when we see an in-ground pool, because it's so rare in the Midwest, my buyers get excited, and I feel like sometimes I'm a wet dish rag. Like, that's great, but best case scenario, you may have 12, 14 weeks out the year where you can utilize it. And are you going to be here every weekend to get your money's worth?
That's the key thing.
You have a life outside.
Yes. Now, my neighbors had bigger families. They were in their pool every day.
Okay.
Every day. Somebody in their family was in the pool every day. So they got their money's worth out the pool. But I'm going to speak on my own personal experience. When I would have pool parties, not all my people got in the pool. So, they sit by the pool, right? They sit in the pool. So, it was just one of those things where it's like at the end of the day, like I had to tell Mike, what's wrong?
Miss Rogers' grandson.
Oh, Miss, yeah, okay. She got Oh, Andre. Okay, there we go. Oh, little Bobo. We went to CVS together. Shout out to Andre. So yeah, to your point, I'm not gonna say who the pastor was, but this was a few years ago. I was at this church. And he was telling the story how God was able to. This family wanted a $200,000 house. However, happenstance, they were able to get a $400,000 house for the $200,000 price, something to that nature. And I'm sitting at church, and all I could think of, but the expenses. That's where my brain immediately went. Now, if that's the house they wanted, and I guess it was a blessing for them. But if you only had money, now I don't know if they only had money for expenses of a $200,000 house. I'm guessing they would have been looking for more. But you get a $400,000 house, now you got $400,000 expenses.
All of that goes up. And
Yeah.
And can we talk about the taxes?
Oh, don't you talk about the taxes? Yes.
Here's how I explain. So I have a girlfriend, sorority sister. She went to my high school. So we have history.
Okay.
And she was buying when the rates went down. What was it, 21, 22, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And probably about 3 times I said, girl, these taxes are $18,000. Finally, because she's a bright woman. She talked to me like, she said it without saying it, like, don't keep telling me. She said, Eve, I'm quite aware.
Okay.
Taxes are.
Okay.
But the way I break it down to people is if you win the lottery and you're able to pay off this $450,000, whatever it is, those taxes go no place.
Nowhere.
Right. So 18 grand a year, that's $1,200 a month. Even if you pay off the mortgage, you still forever and ever, amen, have a $1,200 approximately, you know what I mean? You want to break it out monthly, a tax bill.
Yes.
Taxes never go down.
Taxes do not be going down. They do not.
They don't go down. Yeah. But other things, when you ask about home ownership, I think it's better to own than not own.
Okay.
Because rent never goes down.
Okay. And now I was like, why did I even bring up Channing? Because I know why. Because it's tax time. So he normally has a slow period, of course, like Christmas-ish. But once those W-2s start coming in, business picks back up. So my point was, it's the first of the year and it's tax time. And so when it comes to home ownership, what are some things that you would like potential buyers to think about?
So when I do my home buyer seminars, and if anybody has ever been in one, they've heard me say this, but it's the truth. The truth stands whether or not it's a seminar or whether I'm on a podcast. Home ownership is tougher right now. The affordability is just not there, as it was years ago. You don't have to buy your dream home.
You don't have to buy your dream home
out the gate.
Okay.
The biggest, what you really want to do is get into property ownership in some shape, form, or fashion.
Okay.
So again, this might be my finance degree. Don't fall in love. Don't make it. It's emotional because we live there.
Yes.
You have to remember that property is an asset. So as much as you can, diminish the emotion, right?
Yes.
And look at it as an asset. If you can buy something that someone else will want to buy when you get ready to sell, make it make sense.
Okay.
You don't have to live there forever. So let's say, for instance, you buy a property. It's not your dream home. Maybe right now all you can afford is $225, for instance.
Okay.
You stay there. You accelerate a couple payments. If you can throw an extra payment in and build equity over time and diminish the interest that you're paying over the life of the loan.
Okay.
That might be, you think of it as a piggy bank. You may not be able to save $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 on your own, but you're putting money in your house piggy bank.
Okay.
And one day, 6 years from now, you can turn around, withdraw that equity and upgrade to another home.
Okay. Okay.
So
I like that advice.
Think of it as an asset.
Yeah.
Take the emotion out of it. It is an asset that you get to live in.
Yeah. That emotion is big when you work. I mean, when you're working with buyers and sellers, but when you're working with buyers, that emotion, I'm glad you put it that way. Like, don't think of this first home as your dream home.
Stepping stone.
Because, so many things, and so I went from working with buyers to, honestly, I really just do referrals now. I ain't gonna tell no lie. That's really what I just do. But when I was working with buyers, you got this list and you got these 15 things on the list that you want this house to have. And it's got 14 of them. And they like, it does not have this one. Now, granted, maybe they haven't prioritized the 15, right? So maybe, you know, I can live with this, not live with that. But it doesn't have that one thing on there. And so, you know, sometimes buyers like, no, you know, and, you know, so I like that you say, okay, take the emotion, because and we understand this is a big purchase, right? We truly understand that. As they say, it may be for some people the biggest purchase of their life. Yeah, you know.
I don't know how many of your followers are wealthy, but I didn't come from a wealthy family.
Okay.
So for most of us, our biggest assets are going to be our retirement accounts and our property.
Yes. So we get the emotions, right? It makes sense.
Scary.
Yeah, no, and it is scary. And so, but I like if you say, okay, if you already know this is not where I'm going to be planted forever, right? This is a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone
for me to, you know, to your point, get some equity, live in the house, still enjoy it. Like, we're not saying just pick anything, right? You still want to get something
the things that matter.
The things that matter. Right. And what matters to everybody is different.
Right. And you mentioned 14 things. That's a lot of things in one house. So I suggest to people that you quantify what it is you want before you start searching, because you're more logical then, right? Okay. So let's say I'm just making something up. Okay. I want 3 bedrooms, a spacious kitchen. I want all the a ranch. I want all the bedrooms on one floor. Okay. Then I'm starting to look. I viewed like 7 houses and one of them has a fireplace. And all of a sudden I want a fireplace. You can overdate. Okay. And you want what you had in the last boyfriend and girlfriend, but then you're just like, well, I want somebody who also calls me and texts me and thinks about me during the day. Now you want somebody who takes you out. They have all these other criteria that you did not have. And then when you first, it's the same thing with property. You can overlook. So could think about those things that are important at the outset and keep going back to what you said was important to you. Yeah. Because you're going to keep adding stuff on. And sometimes your pre-approval amount, you got, was it champagne taste on a beer? Yes. And, you know, and too, and I think one of the good things is that I think benefits, and I guess it could be a plus or a minus, but consumers now they can go on the internet. Back in 2004, when I got my license, wasn't really no going on the internet and looking at properties. Now they can, before they even call you, right? They view online, you know, 10, 20, 30 houses, you know. Which should help, but it doesn't always. That's what I was saying. It could be a plus or a minus. But now consumers, if they choose to, can also be a little bit more informed about things kind of before they actually reach out to a realtor. Yes. Yeah. So, all right, look at us. We are just cooking with gas. Okay. Let's see. Okay. What can be accomplished working collectively with family? What can be accomplished through working collectively with the benefits of homeownership? Go ahead. What you finna say? That's back to the affordability. Okay. The affordability. Okay. So I think about both of my grandmothers, for instance, had 2 flats. Okay. And they were family occupied buildings. Okay. You have the main door that was locked, and usually the unit doors, I don't know if you can do this anymore, but the unit doors were open and we literally would run up and down. Okay. Just because it's family. It may be worth considering doing that, going back to those values because of the affordability. Yes. Okay. Yeah, if it becomes cost prohibitive, you know, consider somebody who you think you can share, not your unit, well, maybe your unit, but collectively share a space, and they're going to be responsible enough where you guys can share in the maintenance. So let me ask you this question. All right. Ooh, excuse me. I think we're going to get back to more multi-generational housing over time. Yeah, and that's where we are. So my mom was in the Mokina house, and I want to get to the affordability. Okay. My mom was in the Mokina house, and she just got to a point because it's a lot of property management, right? But she was like head property management. Okay, so she was making sure. But then she got to a point, and it was like, okay, I'm out in Chicago downtown. I'm not getting to Mokina quick any day of the week. So now she lives with us, and so we do have this multi-generational, and it works so great, especially now that my daughters
about to be, so my kids have birthdays in March and April. So my daughter's about to be 16. She's currently taking driving lessons. And my son he'll be 12 in April. But it's nice now because, especially since they're a little older, because everybody can help out in something. Like everybody in my house has a job. Yeah. And so with affordability, I was going to say, everything's getting more expensive. Groceries are getting more expensive. Even if me and somebody was saying, if you go to McDonald's, one meal is like $15-$16, where they used to be like $8.99, but now you're spending $60-$70 on one meal, depending on how many people are in your family. Chicken wings went up. Eggs, like remember eggs was like 99 cents, 79 cents.
Yeah.
That's no more. That is no more. So back to the affordability. So here was my question about that. If you decide to do some kind of family owned building, am I checking if I think my aunt is a good fit? Am I checking her credit score first? Am I checking her background? Because what if I think she's a good fit, but I don't really know her finances?
Well, that's where you're going to have a co-borrower. The lender does that.
Okay.
So let's say it's a 2-unit and you want something that's, you only can afford $250.
Okay.
But you're looking at stuff and it's $400,000, and then you have an aunt who is okay. We can live in a 2-flat.
Okay.
And you both maybe get a pre-approval
separately.
Okay. And you're both co-borrowers.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Because I'm like,
and you're co-owners, and you each pay your half of that. If it's $400,000, I'll just take a stab and say maybe the mortgage is $3,400, right?
Okay.
You each pay your $1,600.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That was a trick question because I'm like,
how does that work?
Well, this
comes in when the lawn needs to be mowed.
Well, that was what I was finna say. Well, that was my other thought was, okay, so what if the other owner isn't as strong, right, credit wise, but they can do good with the upkeep of the property, like cutting the grass, make sure the snow shovel.
Then they can't be on the pre-approval.
Oh, right. True.
They can't be on the pre-approval, but there is and this is a legal thing, so I'm very careful. You want to talk to an attorney about this. There is probably a way to add them to the deed, but here's the thing. They're on the deed, which would make them a co-owner, but they don't have responsibility for paying that mortgage.
Yeah.
So if they don't pay their share of the rent, you go into default and they don't.
Right. So and that's on your credit.
You want to work out, yeah,
ahead of time. Eve, did you have fun today?
I did.
Everybody says that. Okay, so here's the questions. Here's my first question. What would be 2 or 3 things you would want to leave with? I hate we didn't really get a deep dive. I want to deep dive into property management, but it's okay. What are just 2 or 3 things you would like to leave with? Okay, this is what we'll do. We'll do real estate as an umbrella. So what are 2 or 3 things, call to actions that you would want to give to a potential new home buyer, a potential investor, or someone looking to hire a property management company? It could be anything under that.
Potential home buyer. Get started today. You don't have to try and figure everything out on your own. And in fact, I suggest, even if you don't think that you're ready, consult with a professional today so that you know what steps you need to take to get ready. Okay. So for instance, the reason that could be beneficial, and I'm just throwing something out there, it's been years, praise God, that I've had a student loan. Okay. I don't know how it works anymore. But I want to say 10, 12 years ago, I know people, they're just like, I need to get my student loans together. So they would get set up on repayment plans. The lender was like, stop. Pump the brakes. No. Or I'm putting it, they will put them in deferment so that they would have the payments due. Unbeknownst to that consumer, if you have $60,000 worth of student loans, they take, I think it's 1% of that principal payment and back it into your debt to income ratio anyway, because they know those loans are going to come due one day, even if you don't pay them today. Okay. So talk to a professional. Don't try and do everything on your own. Surround yourself with a good team. Okay. So if you know you want to do it, even if you don't want to do it today, if you want to do it next year, get your team together. Okay. So start preparing. Okay. Make a decision that makes sense. You mentioned maintenance versus something being dated. You didn't say versus. Yes. I'm with you. I have walked, and you probably have too. I've walked into homes where the person has been there 50 years, right? And I look and I'm like, oh my Lord, this stove is as old as me.
Mhm.
But everything's maintained beautifully.
Yes.
Grout cleaned up. They got the pink Pepto-Bismol wall.
Yeah.
But everything is super clean. In my mind, and I can be totally off, when I see that they've maintained that property in spite of how dated it is, somewhere in my mind, I'm like, this is the same person that cleaned the gutters and the same person that changed the furnace filter.
Yes. Yes.
There's a mental,
Yes.
yeah, they did this much
Yes.
to care for 50-year-old appliances. So sellers, take care of your home. The maintenance to me is better than trying to update all the time.
Yeah.
I don't need quartz counters, but what I do need,
Yes.
And buyers, these are some of the things you need to look for. How well that property is maintained. Property management, have a system in place. Chicago, Cook County, and now it's spreading to Illinois. It is very, very, very tenant friendly. So I'm a big believer in getting income property because people got to have a place to live. I believe in home ownership, but everybody's not going to be a homeowner.
Yes.
That's the truth of the matter.
Yes.
It's your asset. You got to protect your asset. It is not a passive investment. People think it's passive. There's nothing passive. If you are going to be a landlord, take a property management course. Property management, have your system set up and be familiar with that. Chicago. If you're in Chicago, well, whatever the tenant landlord ordinances are in your municipality.
Yes. Thank you so much. All right. So where can people reach out to you if they want to do business?
Well, my email address is very simple. It's eve@evebenton.com. So it's my first name at my first and last name. Or you can text me 312-834-4383. 312-834-4EVE. That's what it is.
That is so cute.
4383 is for Eve. Eve is saying forwards and backwards.
Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you'll come back too.
I'd love to.
Listen, everybody, this has been a great, amazing show. My special guest, Eve L. Benton. I love Eve. She knows that. I want to remind you that you can purchase my new book, Fearless Advocates. All you have to do is go to fearlessadvocates.com if you want an autographed copy, or you could go to Amazon. I help and type in Fearless Advocates or Misty D. Campbell. I help caregivers become better advocates for them and those that they care for. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them at Miss All Purpose, MSALLPURPOSE. This has been another great edition of All Purpose Radio. I want to thank all the listeners, all the viewers, everybody that chimed in. Kieta, shout out to Miss Cass, Cassandra, Andre, Paul Adams, Dantana, JB, that's my little nephew. What's up, JB? And Coco Butler. So thank you to everybody that watched, that chimed in. This has been another great edition of All Purpose Radio with your girl, Miss All Purpose, right here on My Radio Chicago. Bye.
This Queen Jazz Shari tuned in to My Radio